Oh, my goodness. I hit the button. There you go. There you go.
There we are.
There you go. Good.
Wow.
Good girl.
Who's a big boy?
Who's a good girl? I talk to my computer like it's my dog.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, sometimes you have to.
Yeah, sometimes it's a petulant thing, too, and it won't listen.
Very much so.
Oh, my God.
Man, I can't believe 18.
18.
Dude.
18, and we're almost done with this season.
With the first season.
Yeah.
I know.
It's crazy, dude.
It is.
I will say that this has helped pass the time because by the time this episode airs,
Yeah.
we're going to be really close to, if not already in rehearsals.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be awesome.
Which is really weird because by the time this episode airs, we'll know whether or not we're going to be back on cast.
I certainly hope we are.
I hope so too, because if not, I don't know what to do, man.
Go to the fair and cause chaos anyway.
It would really suck if one of us got on and the other one didn't.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
Oh, I would be a petulant child.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd be like, dude, no. I'm still going to go and mess with this guy. Watch this. Now I don't have to do a parapet shift. Instead, I'm going to stand down here and yell at you.
I would miss parapet shift.
Oh, yes.
I'm not going to lie.
Honestly, that I think working up on the wall is one of my favorite things, just because it's one, I don't have to trudge everywhere.
It's a nice hour of downtime,
But you get to see everybody. That's the cool thing.
Yeah, and everyone
Gets to
can
see us. Although I still think it'd be hilarious if we were both in one of the little windows and we were doing the Waldorf and Stadler Muppet thing. The two old men in the balcony and the Muppets.
Okay, so you know what's coming next year.
Oh, yeah. No, dude. I think it'll be hilarious. Look at this one. What does he think he is? In the medieval times? Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's going to be, yeah, I'm really, we're coming down to it, man.
We're getting down to the
I know
wire.
I know it's February, but these next couple months
Yeah.
are going to fly
While
by.
we're recording, yeah, we're in February, but by the time this thing airs, it's going to be April or May.
Yeah,
You
and that's
know?
what I tell people. I said, we live the Renaissance Festival life year round.
So
And this is kind of why we do what we do here, is
it's going to be really crazy because this season is coming to an end.
yes.
At least for as far as season 1 of the Renaissance Rascals.
Correct. Oh, yes.
And this season was predominantly character growth and development.
Yeah,
And
and-
how to build that character. So
I don't want to give too much away at this moment, but I do believe we've been renewed for a season 2.
yeah.
I don't know yet.
But the question is then like we can't do the same old hat.
No, of course
We
not.
can't do that. It's not. I mean, then we might as well be teaching college.
Yeah, we're going to have refresher courses, because season 2 is going to bring a whole new group of people that may not have caught season 1. So,
Well,
the lessons don't ever end.
And then there's also the factors of what about the new cast members?
Exactly.
Because then we can get their perspective on things.
Right.
And even there's an idea. A mentorship program, maybe?
Ooh. We're talking to you.
Yeah, we're talking. Well, we're not. Yeah, they can't see us, but we're looking at you.
Yeah, we're looking at you,
Because that would
Duke
be
of Larkspurshire.
that would be neat, though, wouldn't it?
I believe it would.
Like to actually just even as the Renaissance Rascals having a mentorship program.
Yeah.
Like putting together something where we can, I don't know, get some volunteers to help you try to better your character.
Help us help you.
Help us help you. Oh my God! It's
All right.
episode 18.
Episode 18. We're here already.
B players.
B players.
What is? Do I have to get dressed up like a bee now?
No, not that kind of bee.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get this out of the way. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
I'm Rob.
I'm Keith.
And we're the Renaissance Rascals.
We are.
We are just eloquently stupid enough to keep you entertained. That's why you're still watching us, even though it says episode 17 up there, because somebody didn't change it.
Someone didn't, but it is episode 18.
Doggone it, Steve.
Way to go, Steve.
We don't have a Steve.
We need to get a Steve.
If you're interested in being our Steve,
yes,
send us an email with your resume and an 8x10 to renaissancerascals@gmail.com.
fantastic.
Actually, today we're talking about,
How to be a B player.
and apparently I don't have to have B wings, but we'll get into that. First, we have to hit our sponsor for today.
Yes, unofficially, of course.
Unofficially, of course, because nobody pays us, because why would they?
Why? I mean,
We do it for free.
of course we do, because we love you.
Yes, we love all of our artisans and actors and photographers and all of our friends that frequent the Renaissance festivals. So today is brought to you by Woodland River Creations.
Tum tum tum.
If you're looking for a beautiful mug, Keith, please showcase the
Oh
mug.
yes, mug.
Yes, mug. So if you're looking for a mug like Keith's, or maybe you're not looking for a tall boy like that, you want just a little one, you can head to Woodland River Creations, where our friend makes these wonderful creations like these.
Yes, all out of wood.
A lot of wood turning, actually.
Yes,
He does bowls, he does vases.
I love when you say vase.
I love saying vase.
It makes him sound so smart.
Yes. And then some bowls, because, dude, those things are gorgeous.
I love the bowls.
I like when he does the resin pour with the epoxy.
Yeah.
And the different quartz colors in there. Like that one right there. Look at that.
I know.
That is beautiful.
Little trinket boxes.
Little trinket boxes. Perhaps you are trying to continue with your lessons on wooing,
Oh yes.
and you want to present your token of affection to your lord or lady. Well, why not have that with a box?
Yes. Of course.
Handcrafted by Woodland River Creations.
Of course, that episode has already aired. So,
Well, we're just continuing.
but yeah, get your box.
dude.
The fair has not started yet.
And
You can-
love never stops.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Dude, score yourself some brownie points. Order one of those for your love.
Absolutely.
Go to woodlandrivercreations.com and you can start your shopping right there. They are gorgeous.
Yes, and if you would like a handwritten Renaissance Rascals love letter to put inside that box, send us a message at renaissancerascals@gmail.com.
Do be careful, because sometimes it's going to have that little Renaissance Rascal snark to it. I make no promises.
of course
I'm
it will.
the guy that writes them. That's our sponsor for today.
Unofficially, of
and,
course.
And unofficially, of course. And we are talking about being a B player.
A B player.
And you said I don't need wings and a stinger.
No, well, I mean, if you want to, you can.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think they'll let me back on cast if I do that.
Probably not.
All right. So what are you talking about, Keith?
So, as a B player, what we're talking about is for instance, Rob and I are walking around the fair, as we do. Or, sorry.
Trudging.
Yes, we trudge. We trudge around the fair. And I start an interaction with a patron or another cast member. That puts me in the position of being the A player in the scene.
Oh, I see what you did.
Do you see what I did
Yes.
right there?
It's like a cassette tape. We're
Kind
showing
of,
our age.
Yes. So Rob would be the B player in the scene. And for a lot of cast members and even the patrons, not so much the patrons because they're just there for the crack show and the turkey leg.
And the nuts.
And the nuts, of course. It's very important to know that there are rules to be the B player and how to make that scene successful. How to make that interaction successful. So I think it's very important that everyone knows you don't always have to do something. You by just being there is good enough sometimes.
Now, I will counterpoint that, because oftentimes when you are the A player, I am doing something.
Yes.
But it is not overt.
No. Sometimes less is more.
Yes. But rule number 1.
Be aware. See what we did there with the B?
The B.
B player,
I see
be
what you did
aware.
there.
I know. I was very clever.
Maybe. You weren't clever enough to change that first slide.
No, that's not my job. Way to go, Steve. Be aware. So be aware of who started the scene and what the scene is actually starting about. It may have nothing to do with you whatsoever, so you don't have to give your 2 cents. Sometimes it's not needed. It's not warranted.
I feel attacked here.
No, not at all. You are a fantastic B player.
So
it didn't start off
no,
that way.
it did not. I was just gonna say that. I think it was the first or second weekend. I was trying to prove myself.
Yes.
And this is something that rookie cast members will run into.
Yes.
And just to take it away from a little bit more, not just the Renaissance festivals, but if you've got a gaming group, you generally will have this as well. We usually call it metagaming because that's when somebody's like, I'm not even in the room, but I know what's going on. Okay. When you're, what happened was Keith was involved with talking with somebody, and I was salivating at the lip, just biting at the chomp. Like I want to play. So I jumped in, and I completely interrupted the interaction, which Keith kind of gave me the death glare, the look of disapproval of what are you doing, and he didn't call me out in front of the customers.
No, never.
That was the good thing. So if you're an A player and you get stepped on, that's what we call it. Don't lose your cool.
Yeah.
Just let it run, and then step back in and ignore what had just happened. Okay. Yeah. With the dynamic between Keith and I, the reason why that works is because I'm a lowly commoner, and he's the Lord. So he can look at me like that, and it's both in character and outside of the realm of the character. It has meaning both ways. So afterwards, Keith came up to me and he's like, "Hey, dude, when I start something, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
but I don't want you to just jump in on me. One of the things that Keith and I agreed on later on is like, yeah, dude, you got to be a good hype man, like Rick James's backup man,
Flavor Flav.
The backup guys that are that's you can do the all day long.
Yes,
nobody can be Rick James except Rick James. All you can do is yeah.
Yeah. So that's that.
In a nutshell, that's what we're talking about.
In a nutshell, that's exactly where we're going. But yeah, no. I mean, in what Rob had to say was poignant to the scene,
but it was wrong.
But it was the wrong timing for that.
We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a couple of seconds.
Absolutely. So yeah, it was just a little course correction with Rob, and of course, I knew he was brand new. And that was.
You were patient. I appreciated that.
One of our first times, really working together in scenes. And so it was like, I couldn't just be like, dude, what the hell are you doing? And come down. It's like, so we walked backstage and I said, all right, dude, here we go. This is what we got going.
You were very polite and very professional about it. And that is something that I if you are a cast member or a future cast member watching this, please be professional.
Yeah.
Be professional. It's not one of our slides here, but that is definitely something that you have to keep in mind. Be professional, because ultimately you want your partner to come back.
Yeah. And it's just, it's
otherwise you're stuck with something you don't want.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like me, I got stuck with Rob, and I necessarily didn't want him, but he's here.
He says he got stuck, but he pulled me aside and said, "Come here, kid, you're coming with me."
And pretty much I did.
But I'm not a kid.
But so be aware of how the scene started, what the scene's about. If Rob starts a scene, with someone, even though, in the hierarchy of everything, I could jump in and I could step on him. And go, nope, stop what you're saying. I'll take it. I could, but I'm not going to, because
it's very rare.
That doesn't help the scene in any way.
And it's very rare. There have been a couple of occasions, but it is poignant to the scene when it's basically because I play Yen Sheng, who is a traveler from the East. He is a nautical merchant, and he doesn't know a lot about English customs and courtesies.
Yeah.
So when Yen Sheng starts to pontificate about the way that things are, and it's wrong, that's when I as an actor, I'm really setting Keith up.
Yes.
And it is expected for him to jump in on that.
Right.
But that is, again, we're going to talk about that here in a couple of seconds.
It's all about timing and cues.
Oh, yes. The next one.
Listen for your cue.
Look at that.
Oh, it's almost like I knew what was coming.
Look at that. Be alert.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Keith and I have done, and I just kind of, this organically happened because after the first time of stepping on Keith, all it took was the one. When I broke into the scene and I was like, oh, I got something to add, and Keith just kind of gave me that stare, I realized, wait a minute, I need to wait for my either introduction or a time where he is just looks at me to give me that signal.
Yeah.
Instead, I decided, well, you know what? I'm trying to keep this doofus alive, so I'm just going to play bodyguard.
Yeah.
So I started walking behind him, just kind of pacing around very slowly, methodically, so that it wasn't distracting to who he was talking to. And then I had my hand on my sword, and I was just kind of scanning the crowd. A couple of people pointed it out. They were like, dude, that's really cool. Why do you do that? And I said, because I have no part in that scene. So I'm just the background. I am a tree.
Right.
And some people have said, dude, that's kind of cool. That's neat that you do that. Did you guys come up with that? I said, no. Keith yelled at me for stepping on it, and I just figured out that this was the way to do it. I'm out of the way, and every now and then I'll take a look back at him to see if he's signaling for me.
Yeah.
But Keith and I, even though we've only worked together for a season, we kind of figured out and discussed how to identify those cues and what those cues are. We have a set amount of cues that actually, hey, I need you.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's me going,
it's true.
making this funny, I'm throwing my hands up in the air, giving this I don't know, look, So,
yeah.
But you will know when that cue is if you work together very well.
Right. One of the few times I wasn't with Rob, I was walking around with Lord Surrey, and as we were just kind of talking as we walked through the.
You didn't step on him, did you?
No, of course I didn't.
Okay.
No, not him. There was a patron that came over, and she was, excuse me, and she was talking to Lord Surrey.
Right.
Because he's very bright and shiny, and he has a lot of gold lame, and he sticks out. So she was complimenting on his wardrobe and this and that, and so I just stood there. I'm like, okay, she's not talking to me. And so I didn't, I did a couple, just kind of agreements, but not stepping on anyone until he looked at me, and then he looked back at the patron and he goes, oh, have you met Lord Robert? And he then brought me into the scene.
Yep.
Now, if he hadn't said that, I would have stood there for 5 minutes while they talked and not said anything other than, because it wasn't my scene. I was being the B player.
Right.
And so he brought me in, and then we had this good interaction. And after it was done, he's like, oh, I can't believe you just stood there. I said, well, it wasn't my scene. It was yours.
Yeah.
What I had things I could have added. Absolutely. But, because anyone that knows me knows I love to talk. So standing there going, was really hard.
I'm telling you, man. It's James Brown all over again. James Brown is just like, yeah.
Yeah. It was very hard for me just to stand there. But I knew because, I don't like when that happens to me.
Right.
I wasn't going to do it to someone else.
Well, I mean, there's been a couple of moments where we were walking, and I remember one specifically where I engaged some gentlemen that were dressed up like Ronin, Japanese samurais that are masterless samurais walking around without their lord. Anyway, I went and approached them, and Keith kind of followed me, but he just kind of stood there because he doesn't know Lord Robert doesn't know anything about those people.
Nothing.
They have swords. They must be warriors of some sort.
Yeah.
And, oh, well, look, Yen Zheng's going to talk to him. Maybe he knows them. They're probably cousins.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was, kind of, I mean, as is the actor and the character, it was kind of one and the same. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. Oh, he must know them.
Nope.
But once again, I had nothing to add to the scene. I had nothing to add to that interaction that would have been any kind of beneficial, other than, when I get brought in, then I go, oh, where are you from? Why do you dress like this? Then I can start asking questions. But up until that point, I don't know what's going on.
Well,
who are these people?
And that is a very important thing to know, because if you don't have a clue of what's going on, you can't really know the scene.
Right.
You're not being aware.
And sometimes in situations like that, saying nothing is better than trying to just say something to say something. It's sometimes being quiet, it's the way to go.
Although in that instance,
and give a
in that instance, then now that we've within the canon of the travels of Yen Shang and Lord Robert, within the canon of that, the story arc that happens behind the scenes.
Yes.
This would be where Yen Shang would educate afterwards of, oh yes, those are men who serve lords. Unfortunately, they are too far away from their lords, so they are probably exiled, and such that we would have that conversation.
Yeah.
Now, if that interaction happens again, and I can then turn to Lord Robert as Yen Shang and say, these men are looking for a lord to serve. It is what they do. It is their, by definition, who they are.
Yes. All right, guys, you with me.
But that would be the way that I would provide him his cue.
And wouldn't that be a sight to see?
God, I'm telling you.
Lord Robert, followed by Yen Shang, followed by...
No.
Ronins.
I have a vision that I need to make happen. And if you're watching this and you happen to dress up like a samurai or a Ronin, come find me.
Yes.
Because I have this vision of Lord Robert having a retinue of samurai being escorted around the festival. Dude, I can't promise you that I'm going to buy you a Scotch egg or anything, but we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a talking point for a lot of people.
Oh, it will freak everyone out.
Oh, totally.
It'll be hilarious. And then I'll probably get fired, but what a hell of a way to go.
Yeah,
And then Keith is actually going to have to hold auditions for his Renaissance Rascals partner.
All right. Are there any more Chinese merchants out here?
The next rule is be patient.
Yes, we touched on that, but
You have to, we have to. We're being very clear. We're establishing rules for a B player.
Yes, absolutely.
So you can't imply, nor can you just touch on it. We have to specifically.
Yes.
Because this is how you teach properly.
This is how you teach.
Be patient. Now, this is Keith and I make things look really really seamless, and people have mentioned this to me as well as him. In passing conversations, are like, dude, you guys must rehearse this. Not at all.
No.
Not at all. But we know each other well enough that...
Zero rehearsal.
Yeah. We know each other well enough that we can see when the other one wants to jump in, and it is an exercise of patience to wait for that moment.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it just goes on.
Yeah.
And you don't know where, but you got to pay attention. You got to be aware. You got to be alert. Watch for your cue. And then most importantly, be patient. Wait for your turn.
Yeah.
It will come, especially if you have a good partner like I do.
Right.
If you don't have a good partner like I do, find a better partner.
Find a better partner. Yes.
So wait for your turn. Honestly, a lot of this, it's that whole improv thing that Jack and the Lord Sheriff were talking about.
Yes.
For those of you that are outside of the world, that was Nick and our friend Jason, or not Nick,
Morrow.
I got him on my brain, dude.
You in trouble now.
Yeah, no. Morrow is our Lord Sheriff. He is an amazing actor, along with Jason. Combined, I think they have about 30-something years of acting experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've been at it for a while.
But a lot of what we're talking about here about being a B player has to do with improv and knowing that timing.
Yeah.
So, wait your turn.
Yes, be patient, because I know everyone wants to be part of the scene, and sometimes that scene isn't for you. It's one of those where I just do a quick 10-second hit and run, and I talk to someone, and off we go.
You know, there's a great example of this. You introduced me and our mercenary friend to the king,
Yes.
and that ended your part.
So that would be so here would be another way of being a B player is if I start an interaction, but the interaction is really more meant for you, and that was a great segue.
Yes.
So now, because I made that that introduction to you, you become the A player, and I step back into the B player role, even though I started the interaction. So it's knowing where to fit into that scene. I did what I needed to do.
Correct.
And so really that scene wasn't mine anymore. So I stepped down. I go, okay, now I'm the B player. You're the A player because this is your interaction. And I stood there and waited for a cue to bring me in, which that cue never happened. But that's absolutely fine.
This is a great example of versatility, though.
Yes.
And that's the fourth rule is to be versatile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because here's where, and I'm going to set the scene for you guys so that you can follow what we're talking about.
Turn your lights down.
Yeah.
Set the mood.
All right, baby.
Light a candle.
Picture this, if you will.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, why did you have to do that?
I don't know. It seemed right.
Okay. So Keith and I and our friend the mercenary were involved in an interaction with His Majesty. Now, part of that was that one of the talks of the town was His Majesty was sending a foray into France.
Because we don't like the French.
Because during the time frame, England and France were at war, so he was looking to secure a foothold for his armies. And part of that, Yen Shang has ships. I have a total of 3 ships that are rather large. And
you're about to get a 4th ship next year.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I've got a whole thing.
Is it a leisure yacht?
I've got a whole thing.
Okay, anyway. So we were trying to negotiate with His Majesty payment for the use of my ships, conscripting me as a privateer, as well as setting a payment for the mercenaries' company and his men. Unfortunately, unknown to us, a certain charlatan owed the crown some coins. So we were set to get the payment from the charlatan and return a portion to His Majesty. That was the scene.
Yes.
Okay? So Lord Robert introduces myself and our mercenary.
Yes.
Because we have no in.
So the way this scene would have set up is, I know we're talking about B players, and that's if you're walking around like Rob and I do. But because there were 3 of us, so I would, at the beginning of the scene, then I was the A player. I was making the introduction for Rob for his ships. So Rob would have been the B player, and our mercenary friend would have been the C player, because it was then up to Rob to secure the money for the ships, and then he introduces our mercenary friend to do to negotiate for his men. So then it was kind of a tricky little way we were weaving in and out.
It was a real cool little dance because I would argue that it was 2 B players and 1 A player. And it was just bouncing the ball between different people.
Right.
Then you add in the antagonist, which is the charlatan. And so I handed the ball off to our mercenary.
Right.
Who then was in really weird negotiations with the charlatan, who was trying to downplay his debt.
He was trying his damnedest.
And I will tell you that when you run into a charlatan that is as quick-tongued as Flim Flam is, you're not going to win.
Yes.
You're not going to win. There's no way, because also part of being versatile is being able to react to different styles of acting.
Right.
So the 3 of us myself, Lord Robert, and the mercenary, we're all serious characters.
Yeah.
Okay? We're not comedic. We may say something that is a quip in the middle that is funny, but we're not hunting for the laughter.
Right.
The charlatan, on the other hand, is a comedic player.
Yes.
He is a jester. He is somebody that you have no idea what he's going to say, but you know that it's going to be crazy. So I will tell you, this went on for probably a painstakingly 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, it seems a lot longer, but as quick as he talks,
yeah, no,
he can get a lot. He can get a lot in.
I'm telling you, it was crazy. So I recognized that our mercenary needed an out, and that is coming up. Okay, this is that rule is coming up.
Foreshadowing.
But I had to break the scene. Well, there's creative ways to break scenes where if you have something about you, I carry a very heavy folding fan. And when I snap it out, it pops very audibly. That's how I broke the scene, because everybody turned and stopped and looked at me. Again, Keith is now in the background. He has fulfilled his role as A player, is now B player.
Yes.
The mercenary, at hearing the pop, along with His Majesty and the charlatan, all turned to look at me. By virtue of the scene, I have now regained the A position.
Yes.
I'm not scene stealing. I'm just causing a break because there was a little too much going on there. Now, the line that I gave, because mind you, the charlatan is trying to talk down his debt. The line that I gave was, in the Middle Kingdom, when one cannot pay their debt, we do not bargain to lower it. We simply double, if not triple it. And the Marquess was there, and she said, "Ooh, I like that idea."
Yeah.
And then His Majesty says, "Oh, well, that would make it an even 60." To which the charlatan was just put back on his heels. And then His Majesty ended the scene.
Yes.
And took the A player role by ending the scene by saying, "I'll leave this to you. You handle this situation and let me know what I get in return." And that was the end of the scene.
Yeah.
So I point this out because a lot of this, and the reason why I tell that story is because a lot of this shows the back and forth of the organic reaction of improv. We learned from our friends Jason and Morrow that improv is genuine.
Yes.
It is natural. And that was a natural flow.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should. Any interaction, and if you look at it, it's improv, like, it should be a natural conversation,
Which that one was. I just wish there was a wider audience for
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a great scene. I wish more people have seen it.
Yeah.
Because they honestly would have thought that it was something scripted.
Yes.
Which it wasn't.
No.
Like Rob and I say, we have ideas. We start with an idea, and where the scene goes is where the scene goes, and then we have to figure an out to the scene. That's the only thing that's really up in the air is, okay, how do we end this?
Where does it end?
How it ends with a natural conclusion, not a forced,
Yes.
oh yeah, we're gonna do, make it seem weird.
But I think what you're saying is that genuine, that the authentic reactions.
Yes.
Is you got to be convincing. This is number 5.
Number 5, be convincing.
Because it's hard to sell that. Now, if I had turned around in that story and instead of responding the way that I did, I had went, well, I think we should just take 12.
Yeah.
As a character, that does not fit.
Correct.
So the actor would not do that. Another example would be, Keith is interacting with somebody, Lord Robert's talking to somebody, and then all of a sudden he turns to me and he goes, "Well, Yen Sheng, what do you think of the way that this tiny princess is dressed?" And then this is my response as Yen Sheng. "Oh my, she looks wonderful."
Yeah.
There's no conviction in there. There's no convincing. I mean, dude, it comes off flat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't be that way, but react to it genuinely. Don't fight your instinct to it. Let it go, man.
Yeah.
Let it just fly.
And as you know, I've often, said in a lot of these episodes, I really enjoy interacting with the kids.
He does.
Those are
And they
some
love him for some reason.
I don't know why.
Even mine likes you more than she likes me.
But as we say, be convincing. Those are genuine reactions from the kids.
Yes.
They think you are exactly who you say you are.
Oh, yeah.
In seasons past, when I was portraying a pirate before I changed my character, I mean, I would get stuck in one spot for 20, 30 minutes sometimes, because I would have a group of kids around me just lambasting me with questions about being a pirate. Thank you. I mean, and so I had, because they thought I was a pirate, because I said I was a pirate. And so they had all these questions, and, I had these little gold coins. I would, little pirate coins. Here you go, kids. And I just entertain all these kids. And I'm like, okay, I really have somewhere to be. But, these kids are so invested in what we're doing. I didn't have an out.
That's
I was by myself.
Yeah.
I was stuck. I couldn't go anywhere until finally I went, I must go. I had to go. I was, and the one time it happened, I got stuck. And for anyone, it's for CRF. It was at one of the face painting booths. And this one kid was staring at me, and so I thought, well, I'm on my way to the privy, so I have to pass by this child anyway. So I stopped, and I said, oh, hello. Do you have a question? I saw you staring at me. Oh, do you know Jack Sparrow? And I was like, of course I know Jack. He's the worst pirate in the history of the world. And, oh, no, he's the best. No, he's not. He doesn't have his own ship. He's never killed anyone. And, it's bad. So I started talking to this child, and then it was his turn to get his face painted. So I gave him a little gold coin. And before I had the chance to get away, there was another child right there going, hi, do you know Jack Sparrow? And I'm like, did you not listen to the last conversation? Of course I know Jack Sparrow. He's the worst pirate in the history of the book. No, he's the greatest. 45 minutes. I was stuck in the line at the face painting booth.
Arguing with children.
And they always started with the same question, do you know Jack Sparrow? And then it just went on from there.
Like, I don't get that question.
Like, where's your ship? Where's this? Oh, how long have you been a pirate?
I get the where's your ship.
Yeah. And so at 40, and then I was like, 45. I had to go to the privy 45 minutes before this, and I'm just dying. And I'm like, oh, I must go. And I had to get out.
Ooh. That leads to our improv lesson.
But I tell you, that was the most satisfying time that I had.
Oh, I know, because you were in hog heaven.
The reactions from these kids were just beaming, and it made me so happy. On the outside, on the inside, I was floating because I'm going to die.
You should have used Morrow's line.
I should have. I should have. I got to poop. But yeah, so that's what we're saying. Be convincing in your portrayal of who you are.
Yes. And most importantly, believe who you are.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, nobody else will. In that instance right there, all of those children 100% bought the fact that you were a pirate.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were so invested into that. Now, as a Chinese pirate, because I don't dress like everybody else.
Correct.
I don't get those questions. I get the questions of where's your ship? And then I don't know what it is, but I think maybe I'm a different target audience or I have a different target audience because mine was like all the cougars.
Oh, well, yeah.
It was really interesting.
Which, it's,
hey, dude,
we all have our niche.
I was there to have fun, and yes, I have a tendency of saying very provocative things occasionally.
Sometimes it's been known to happen,
but I'm respectful.
Of course,
by provocative I mean within the time frame of the Renaissance.
We're still professional.
Yes, it's funny.
Yeah,
but I think I only had a handful of interactions with children last season.
Yeah.
And one of them I was actually really, really happy for, but it was kind of funny because it's like the lines between the actor and the character blurred so much because this guy and his two daughters, And so it's mom and dad and 2 daughters. I'm up by the Queen's Pantries looking for this dude because it was Scotch egg time.
Yes.
And we had
Decadent.
got separated because that's typically what happens after opening, but not this coming year. That's going to be different. So I'm up there waiting for him, and this guy comes like just barreling out of the crowd. And I'm like, I look up and I see him, and he's got this wide smile on his face. His daughters are like very sheepishly following, but like kind of like that I want to talk to you look.
Right.
Like and so the dad starts the interaction. Dad was a player. Now, mind you, they are in normal street clothes.
Sure.
Okay. I think the daughters had some semblance of garb going on, and they came walking up to me, and Dad goes, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I saw you." And I said, "Oh, do tell, sir." And,
It was nice to be seen.
and he says, "My friend saw you a couple of weekends ago and told me about you, and I wanted to make sure that my daughters got a chance to meet you."
Nice.
And I said, "Oh, well met." And I bowed to them in the Eastern traditions.
Of course.
And the 2 little girls were just, "Oh my God, he really knows what he's doing." And I was just like, okay, this is really weird. And then Dad kind of stepped forward and goes, "They study martial arts."
Oh.
And I said, "Oh, cool." Not really cool. I said, "Oh, wow. Raising some right warriors you are. This is awesome." And so we had this is where the lines got blurred because I was diving in and out of my actual experience and what the character does. So we were talking about martial arts. And then the question was, well, the daughter says to me, I do Taekwondo, but I want to do something different. And so I might have stepped on Dad because Dad was like, I want her to try to get her black belt before I was like, well, the Korean art is a very, very good start.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to broaden your horizons, and then I went on to this thing about, look to my cousins in Japan who teach certain ways, blah, 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 blah. Or you could always study from the oldest of the traditions, which is China.
Yeah.
And so, broke away from that scene. It was great. And the cool thing was you were actually my out. I think you came walking up. When you saw them when you came walking up, and I said, "Oh, well, it looks like my lord has arrived, and I must be about to ensure that he doesn't get murdered." And so the daughters were just like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then as I was walking away with you, I heard one of the little girls go, "Do you think he knows how to use that sword?" And I just turned around and then just arched my eyebrow, and she just goes, like the older one goes, "He knows." It was a cool interaction, man.
Absolutely.
It was neat, but it's one of those things where it's like, yes, I as a person, I have studied martial arts.
Yes.
I am very well versed in how to defend myself, but not to the manner that Yen Shang is actually written. Like,
Right.
I never studied as much kung fu as one would think. I did study kung fu, but that's a different story. But be convincing. If you wrote that your character knows how to I don't know, be a mason, be convincing.
Yeah.
Believe it.
Yeah. Read a couple books on masonry.
Yeah.
You know, especially during that time period.
Yes.
Don't read
Pick
anything
that
from
rock up and move it over there.
Yeah, but yeah, I think just as a character, and this is for people that really want to dive into their characters as kind of our first season of shows here really has revolved around character development, and then how to build your character.
Yes.
Be genuine.
Be genuine.
If you're going to be X, whatever it is, like Lord Robert for me, every time I step into the lane, I'm Lord Robert.
Now,
whether I'm talking to patrons, cast members, vendors, if I walk into a shop, I walk in as Lord Robert. I don't walk in and I drop my character and go, "Oh man, these are super cool."
We'll do that in hushed tones where nobody else can hear.
I'll talk to Rob like that, like, "Dude, dude, did you see that? Oh, that was super cool.
Yeah.
But then I walk into the shop. Oh, hello, my lady. How are you doing today? And they're like, oh, okay, this guy is...
Yeah, it kind of freaks out the boothies.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
Because I don't know if anyone has ever realized it during the first 18 episodes of the show. I project. I'm loud.
Yes.
And it's
Very
just
much.
and it's just natural. I talk very loud. But that's
It's
just
hard
years.
of hearing.
That's some of it, yes. But that's just years of acting, performing, singing in bands, and
They call
doing
that
this thing.
oration.
Yeah, I have just learned to project my
Yes.
voice, and so when I speak, like a lot of people turn around and go, "Is he talking to me?"
Which is great.
Oh yeah,
It's hilarious. If you want to watch some really funny stuff happen, I'm not even joking. This is me as Rob. Like if you ever want to see something hilarious, just follow Keith around like from a distance and watch him greet somebody, because at least 15 people will turn around and go, "Is he talking to us?" Whereas my style is, I'm talking to you, because I will not only step in your way, I too am very loud.
yeah. Oh, very, very much so.
And I will get your attention, but there is zero doubt. The only reason why people are turning around to look is because, oh my God, that little Asian dude's about to do something.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? Ninja kick the rabbit. I don't know.
Yeah, no. So sometimes, I do that. I'll be like, "Hello, my lord," because I don't have really a specific target. So the first person that turns around
Danger.
becomes my target.
Danger. It's funny. It's funny.
Were you talking to me? Well, yes, I was. And off we go.
Which is going to be great because, over the time frame that Keith and I have been working together, one of the things that we have generated, created, stylized, adopted is "Hello, friend."
Hello, friends.
Because, one, we don't know who we're talking to.
No,
We
no.
really don't.
That's going to be an opening for a lot of our scenes that we do. When it comes to our kind of like
Some of the performances.
our pop-up performances that we're going to do.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know.
I need that button.
We need a dun-dun-dun button. All right, let's work on that.
Okay.
Steve, get on it.
Hey, he's sleeping on the couch again.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't change slides and hasn't programmed a dun-dun-dun button.
Oh, my goodness. What are we going to do with that guy?
I don't know.
We need a Steve.
We need a Steve. But yeah, no. What we're really trying to get across in our own eloquently stupid way is be genuine.
Be genuine.
Dive into, be the character.
React the way that your character would.
Yes.
Don't force it. If you have to force that interaction, your audience is not going to take very kindly to it.
No.
Your A player is definitely not going to take kindly to it.
No, it's not going to be a good interaction. No. If you're forcing things, it's best just stop and I must go. Look at the time.
One thing that I will, my biggest piece of advice, if you find yourself forcing to believe in your character, go drink some water. I'm not even joking. Like, for real, go drink some water. Get something to eat, because sometimes it's just you're frustrated because you're not seeing you're not viewing it from all the angles. You're only viewing it from the perspective of, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But that's okay, dude. I didn't want to be a soldier when I first graduated high school, but then I fell in love with it.
Yeah. He embraced the suck.
Yeah, because, sometimes you have to genuinely do that.
Yes, you do.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, if anybody out there, if you guys need help, advice, tips, tricks, whatever,
Dude, reach out to us.
Send us a message on Facebook Messenger.
Or you can email us.
Email us, renaissancerascals@gmail.com.
Comment below.
We're,
do whatever.
we're more than willing to help out anyone who wants help. So
Yeah. No,
that's the
that's
whole point
why
of
we did this.
That's the whole point of why we're doing what we're doing.
That is why we do what we do, because
we love this stuff.
we do, and it helps us get better.
Absolutely.
All of these teaching points and all these things that we've talked about so far, everything just helps us get better. And unfortunately, for some of our people that will be graced with our presence next year.
Yes, there should be many.
There's going to be a lot of interactions that have spawned from this. And Keith and I are even looking at possibly, there's a couple of scripted interactions that we're going to do.
Yes.
But
One of the few scripted things we will ever do.
there's two.
Yeah.
There's really only two.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
And one is because cherchez la femme, as the French say. I'm finding the woman or chasing the woman.
Yes.
And that's going to be Love and Romance weekend. Come find me. That's going to be great. Especially if I can have an audience for that.
Oh, right.
Oh, God, that's going to be great.
Oh, we'll get one.
And then the second one that we're going to do is, it's kind of, I don't know, should I give this away? Or
No,
okay.
no.
We have an homage that we're going to do.
We have an homage.
And that's going to be about where I'm going to leave that at.
You will immediately recognize the homage when it happens.
Yes. But it's not going to be all in one spurt. We're just going to kind of sprinkle it about the way that we do things anyway.
We have to break up our greatness.
Yeah, well, it's also because half the time we forget our lines.
Pretty much. But that, again, is why we have the Book of Barnabas.
And actually, with the Book of Barnabas, that is a very great resource.
Oh, my goodness. Almost like I saw what was on the screen.
Oh, that's awesome. So the sixth rule of being a B player, be resourceful.
Yes.
You got to know how to help continue the scene if you're called upon.
Yes.
Or if they look like they're struggling, help them end the scene.
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the things I learned early on walking around with people is if I'm the A player in the scene and I start an interaction and the scene is going south, sometimes I don't know how to get out of a scene because I'm trying not to hurt someone's feelings by going,
I can save this.
Dude, yes. I'm like, no, I need to make it great.
No, I can save this. I can do it.
I can do it. And I do. I try. I'm like, okay, well, if I go this direction and the person's just not picking up on the cues, it's always good to have that person, that secondary person, there to go, oh, well, look at the time. We must be going off this way. Oh, yes, you're right. I'm taking up far too much of your time. Here we go. And off we go.
And that's where we can bring out the little bird missives.
Yeah. I mean, Rob can reach into his bag, grab a little message and go, oh, you received a message, my lord. We must go. Oh, yes, of course. I have to go. Goodbye. And off we go. Or you can be like Morrow and just go, I have to poop. And off he goes.
Or you can even help them identify that, okay, sometimes it's just a look.
Yeah.
That doesn't, you're not verbalizing anything. You just look at your A player and give them that look of like,
yeah,
a little,
we gotta go,
head jerk, or, just a tap of the ear, or whatever you guys as partners decide.
Yeah.
That is a great thing to work on, because while it's really tough to swallow, because as a new actor, as a new cast member, you always want to be the best.
Yeah.
And cue the Karate Kid music. You want to be the best, but sometimes it doesn't go the way that you wanted it to go.
Yeah, no.
So it's not a bad mark on you. It's just something did not work organically.
Yeah.
The chemistry was not there. You didn't have the right flash to bang.
We don't always hit home runs.
That's right.
With these scenes. Sometimes, hey, we hit a single. We tried. It worked out kind of, sort of, but we got to roll out. The scene is going nowhere, and that's once you get to that point of you go, all right, the scene is going nowhere. How do I get out of this thing? And that's where I sometimes struggle, because I don't want to hurt the person's feelings that I'm talking to. Like, all right, you suck is trying to do this with me. Like I'm trying and you're horrible, so I'm like, and then that's where your B player comes in and just makes something up to get you out of there.
Lord, we must go see Dave from accounting.
Yes. Oh, Dave from accounting. Oh, my taxes are in.
See, look, there's another one.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a great, and be creative when you're doing these things, guys, because while you could go, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. That would be a way out.
Yeah, I would prefer. I mean, I wouldn't ever use that one. That's just not me. But
It's funny, but
it could also leave a bad taste in the person you're talking to.
yes,
I mean, they go, "Oh, you're just trying to get away from me,"
right?
But
instead, leave it in what I like to do is if I don't have a organic way out, I'll leave a lesson behind.
Yeah.
So, especially because my character is definitely the oddity, I'll give a lesson on, oh, did you know that China is actually responsible for 4 great inventions that impacted the world?
Yeah.
And I'll give the lesson there. And then I will, just things for you to think about. You wouldn't be a great sailor without us. And then I'll walk away.
Yes.
Just a quick disengage. Try to have some of those pre-worked out between the two of you, along with those little signals, pulling the ear, thumb in the nose or something,
So it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because the Duke and Duchess of Norfolk, a lot of their interactions end with him giving a little history bullet point.
Yes.
And that is kind of his way to wrap up that interaction. Yeah. I'll leave you with this. And he gives them a little history thing, and then they're out.
Yeah.
So that's a great out.
It's perfect if you don't have an end to the scene.
Yeah.
It is perfect because then you're kind of leaving a little bit more knowledge in the customer's minds.
Yeah.
But at the same point, you are very decidedly, this is the end.
Yeah. And that helps us out because we generally don't have middles or endings.
We have an idea.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of know where we're going to start.
I started this and Keith?
Yeah. We really don't have a way that's going to go.
The greatest example of that was the marriage of Lucinda.
Yeah. We had an idea and that took a sharp left turn.
Went way out.
And we just rolled with it.
I was aiming for a pop fly. Next thing I know, it's a triple play.
Bam!
And I'm like, what the heck happened? And this was a great example of a customer that leaned into the experience, trying to get the best out of their visit with us. And I mean, you can't really ask for too much more than that. And as actors, as cast members, we had fun with that family, and it was fun. It was neat, but you don't get those all the time.
No.
And it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I mean, sometimes you have a 10, 15-second interaction with someone, and it can be great. It can be a great 10, 15 seconds. Other times, it's, 60 seconds. It's a minute. It's a minute and a half. It's a couple minutes. It's 10, 15. I mean, you could, you know what I'm saying? Don't go into it and go, okay, I just want to do 30 seconds, and then I'm out. Because it's probably not going to happen like that.
No, because you have no idea how they're going to react.
Yeah, just let the scene unfold, and that's kind of the being versatile. Let the scene unfold till it comes to a natural conclusion.
Yes.
And once you get to that point, then you get your out, and then you're gone. And you're off to the next.
Just to recap.
Yes.
Be aware. Mind who started the scene. Know the scene.
Yes.
Okay? Number 2.
Be alert. Listen.
Did you guys see that? I looked at him and I went like this.
Yes.
And
see?
See?
Yeah, I know.
He was waiting for his cue.
Absolutely. Yeah, wait for your cue to come into the scene. It may or may not happen. So if it does happen, great.
Dude, that's awkward when you don't catch that cue too.
Yeah.
Man.
And if it doesn't happen, then it wasn't your scene.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. The next one's yours. Or like Keith and I like to do, we occasionally when we get really, 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 really bored, we play this game of chicken.
Yes.
Where really it is who can get somebody's attention first. It's really dumb.
It's dumb, but
I
works.
don't know why he started it. But he's the one that started it.
Yeah.
All right, number 3.
Number 3.
Be patient.
Oh.
Wait for your turn.
Woozah.
All right.
There we go.
Number 4.
Number 4 is going to be versatile. Adapt your acting style. Yeah, definitely. Don't pigeonhole yourself into something. Be open to suggestions, cues. tells, anything,
Yes.
to where that scene is going to go.
Absolutely.
Rob and I do this all the time because, like I said, we don't know where the scene's going to go, so we have to kind of just roll with the punches. Is a good way to say
It gets even worse when there's more than just the two of us,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
because then there's chaos, and we like chaos.
We like chaos. We kind of thrive in it, really.
We create it.
Mostly.
Not just thrive. We create it.
Well,
and
which
it's
is
fun.
Which is the whole reason why
It's
we
fun
created
for everyone. Be convincing.
Yes.
You have to actually give those genuine reactions. You can't go, oh, gasp. I like to call it Shatnering it.
Yes.
You can't Shatner a scene.
No.
You actually have to believe in that scene, and you have to believe in your reaction. Make sure that everybody around you understands, like, oh my God, he's actually, like, he might actually be, his feelings are hurt from that.
Yeah.
And then finally,
And then be resourceful. Help continue the scene. If you cannot continue the scene, end it. Find a way out. Don't let your partner struggle. That's
or do what I do and let him struggle for a little bit and then help him.
he's such an ass.
Well, it's because I'm curious. I'm just as curious as you are. Can he save it?
I try. I try.
No, and there's a good healthy amount of floundering that I will let Keith do, just because I want to make sure that he has exhausted all of his means.
Yes.
Another great out that I have for Keith is that if I see that look of I'm running out, I'll pop my fan.
Yeah.
Because everybody stops and looks at it because it's loud. Everybody stops and looks, and I'm like, Lord Robert, we must be about our business now. And
Yes.
that is our out.
And then poof.
And then poof, we're gone.
Goodbye, friends.
And then usually it's on to the next scene.
Yeah. And then it's on to the next scene.
We do try to give ourselves a little bit to, okay, let's wash that off, shake it off, and then move on to the next scene.
Yeah. I know it's great, isn't it?
Oh, it's crazy.
And then we start all over again.
Then it starts all over again. All over again. He laughs.
I know we have 6 rules.
Yes.
6 rules of being a B player.
Okay.
But I thought of a follow-up,
Oh.
which is a B. And that's B for Baroness. And if you would like
Oh
to be a
my
Baroness
God.
this year at the Colorado Renaissance Festival.
Unofficially.
Unofficially, of course. Married to me, of course.
Unofficially.
I am looking for a fair wife. Unofficially. You can send your resumes to renaissancerascals@gmail.com.
You do realize that this may very well turn into this really weird thing where we're at like opening weekend and we're standing at the bridge, greeting everybody, doing what we do, and then there's this really weird long line of women behind you.
And if you have spaghetti
That moves you to the front of the line.
that bumps you up. Yeah.
Conversely, well, along with that, if you have a Scotch egg, we will gladly substitute the two.
Yes, yeah, of course.
However, if you have both, front of the line, front of the line.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good segue.
No,
Baroness.
it's not.
No, it was great.
No, it's
I worked it right in there.
No,
Do you know how long I've waited to do that?
I think you planned that from the beginning.
I have no idea what you're talking
Oh my
about, Rob.
God. And see, this is where I have to help him end the scene.
We're out of here.
I don't think you can take much more of him pandering to all the women. Although
B is for Baroness. That's all I'm going to say.
B does stand for Baroness.
Yes.
I will.
A Baroness.
I will acquiesce to that.
Thank you, sir.
Look at that word.
Oh, that was a good
That's
one.
a good
I like
word.
that one.
Acquiesce.
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors there, Jeffrey Rush.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he's awesome. The
He's
guy's got
fantastic.
some great words, man. Like,
Well, all right, friends. That ends this episode for us. We are going to get out of here. I am Keith.
I'm Rob.
And we are the Renaissance Rascals.
Thanks for tuning in.
Of course.
Make sure you tune in next time. And don't forget, our today's sponsor
Unofficially.
is Woodland River Creations.
.com.
They are the makers of some really wonderful turned wood products like
Yes.
bowls and vases.
Yeah. Oh, you know what you could put in one of their bowls?
What's that?
Spaghetti.
You know what you could put in one of their goblets?
Mead.
A Scotch egg.
Ooh, you could.
Yes.
You need 2 goblets.
That would be no longer be a goblet. It would be a Scotch egg holder.
Oh.
Which, by the way, the Scotch egg has been around since the 1500s.
Yeah.
It was created by a merchant class cook.
Yeah, no, this has been proven.
Yes, a Swedish princess told me that this is factual.
Absolutely. And we believe the Swedish
She
princesses.
hates us for that. She absolutely hates us for that. Oh, my goodness. Stay tuned, guys. We've got some more things coming on. Make sure that you share us out there. Like us on Facebook. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. And don't forget, share. Sharing is caring.
Yes, and I like to be shared.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
But he does not share his spaghetti.
No.
Or Scotch eggs.
No.
Nor, well, I don't know. You could be his Baroness for a night. I think it'd be hilarious if we got you a Baroness, but every 15 minutes we changed it out.
Oh, that would be fun.
It'd be hilarious. I think it would cause so much chaos. I would be like, who's this? The Baroness. What happened to the last one? Don't ask questions.
They're tryouts.
They're tryouts. Oh, my God.
Can't just jump into being a Baroness.
Well, you know what? That's it.
There's rules about
I'm
this.
done. I'm
All
done
right.
with you.
Let's get out of here.
Bye.
Bye, friends.